Here we go.
Right.
This is a test of the Boundary Park alert system.
Hello, welcome to the Boundary Park Alert Systems Latics.
The Latics football phone-in. Goodness me. God.
Who am I?
Mr. Professional, Matt Dean.
Who are you?
The uber sexy professional, Dave Bradley.
What are you doing?
I'm just getting me vape out. Don't worry. That's don't worry about the blue lights, guys.
You're rubbing yourself.
Well,
yeah. Do you like the stage lighting?
Yeah, it's quite nice. Blue is the colour. La 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 la. Don't do that. Anyway, how's your week been, Matt?
Went for an eye test today.
Have you got anything interesting to say?
Need my first pair of readers.
Your readers.
I might have to wear them next week.
Are you going to get someone like Deji Rashid?
No, they didn't have any.
Did they not?
I would have done if they had.
Good stuff. So, Bromley, we had a nice 9 hours in the car.
Me and you.
How did you find it?
No. How did you find it, Dave? How did you find Bromley via the Millennium Dome?
It wasn't me. That's due to Volkswagen. Their sat-nav took us via ferry route, and the Woolwich ferry was closed. So,
I spent a long time with you in the car on Saturday, Dave.
Yeah, it was good. It was emotional at times. It was fun at times. It was
tragic at times.
You could say that. Yeah.
Sometimes.
I've got a few more ideas for this show and the
podcast.
Yeah. So keep
it was a melting pot of ideas.
Yeah.
But it was a bloody awful performance. We called the podcast Bobbins in Bromley because it was proper bobbins, wasn't it?
It was bad.
It really was. We were turd, weren't we?
Yeah, I think we were sub-turd.
Yeah, we were. We got turned over on a plastic pitch, but people calling Bromley a pub team, that's unfair. I thought it was a decent little setup down at Bromley, to be honest.
There's a lot of positives for Bromley that day, but apart from they need to get a grip of that parking. I would have been charging for that one.
No, they need to get a grip of those goalposts that move. That's what they need to get a grip of.
It was bad. It was one of the most abject, embarrassing, sad, tragic, rubbish, crap performances I've ever seen Oldham play.
They look pretty clueless, didn't they? Really
it was like in the realms of 7-1 at home versus Cardiff. Yeah. Talking of Welsh teams, we've got a little team this week.
There's some a team that people used to know about back in the day. They used to be quite famous
for the right reasons.
Mickey Thomas's free kick against Arsenal, I think, is the main reason that people know them. It's a small coal mining village in North Wales called Wrexham, and there's a few people that go there to the games.
Just a few.
They've
all got a bit of the bandwagon of late, haven't they? Due to
they have. Yeah, they've.
It takes a bit of money, I suppose. But hey.
But anyway. So we'll be talking to Wrexham people. We've got Wrexham
people.
We've got Wrexham people lined up. We've got Oldham people lined up.
Yeah,
we've got someone who's a Chelsea fan who thinks they're going to get on again after last week, and that's not going to happen.
Oh, really? We're not going to give him a chance? No, he's gone.
No, he's not there. He is. Just kick him from the studio.
There you go. Wow.
So we
didn't actually kick anyone then. No, Chelsea fans or animals were injured.
So let's talk about. Paddy. Paddy. Hope Bromley goes down as an all-time low. It has to get better from now on. I think. What about Saturday? Are we going to get absolutely battered off Wrexham or what?
No, I think we're good. Every dog has its day, and I think we'll be okay. You heard it here.
Dave's wisdom based on absolutely nothing as usual.
Listen,
What about the new signing, John Rooney? Does that make a difference?
Yeah. Any new signing makes a difference. He's got a bit of gusto.
That's not true.
He's won.
We've had loads of new signings that made zero difference.
He has won the National League Player of the Year 3 times. Yeah, he did well at Barrow last season. He's pretty prolific. He's played for Wrexham as well. He won't get one over on them. I think he'll have a lot to offer, and he'll show up that midfield. And he's going to be a typical mourner, isn't he? I think. Like he's that sort of player.
Well, we need
And he has
some
that
we need
pedigree,
people on the
doesn't he?
pitch, that are gonna. We need some characters on the pitch. We're desperately lacking. We said that on the pod after that performance against Bromley. So
I've got a few. I think we have got a few Wrexham fans ringing up as well, haven't we? But we have got a very special guest who, who's going to come on the show, Matt Thomas, who you may hear on 5 Live from time to time. We'll give him a warm welcome. And we've got a few callers. So any Oldham fans out there who are watching international football, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Why he's playing?
Well, it's just internationals, isn't it? It's international week.
No, still.
Yeah, I'll tell you who's playing. Just give us a second.
No, I don't matter. Let's have a let's.
Okay.
If you want to get involved, this is how you do it.
The Latties Football Phone is live every Wednesday between 8:30 and 9:30. If you want to join the conversation, then you need to join us on our StreamYard link, which looks something like this. You'll find the StreamYard link in our pinned post on Facebook, Twitter, and in the comments section on YouTube. So if you want to join the debate, that's how you do it.
Is anyone decent playing?
Argentina versus Jamaica, and El Salvador versus Peru, Honduras versus Guatemala, Mexico Colombia. All right. And Chelsea women and West Ham women, which is a good game.
Yeah, okay, but nobody's watching football. They're watching this.
Oh, okay.
So shut up.
Okay.
So, shall we set home? What's this? Home buzz, and we could do it. Hopes for Rooney. Gareth will put a tenner on. Let's have a chat. Who do you want to talk to first, Dave?
Should we bring in Matt Thomas, one of our special guests? He's one that says Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hello. The one that says Matt.
Yes.
That is my name. How are we both?
Thanks for joining us. Who do you support, mate?
I support Wrexham FC.
AFC Wrexham, don't you?
AFC Wrexham.
Sorry.
However, sorry. I feel the pressure's on now that I'm sort of representing the whole of the world, essentially. Everyone's second team now. But yes, I'm a Wrexham fan. That is me.
Yeah, good stuff. So have you been watching the games this season? Are you quietly confident?
I mean, the results sort of speak for themselves, don't they? It's I think it's tough being a Wrexham fan because obviously we've been in that league for so long now, and I think everyone knows that if you, I don't want to, I feel bad saying this to Oldham fans, but if you don't get out in the first attempt, then it just gets harder from there, basically. And there's been so many near misses, and one thing that I always think about is I went to watch Wrexham versus Luton in one of the playoff semis in like 2011, I want to say, 2012. And then you see sort of where they go off to, and it's always sort of a what could have been scenario. But, it's looking good this season so far. It was quite disappointing in the end to last season. To me, it's just classic Wrexham, the way that season ended, really. But, I feel like we're in that position where you can't really complain with what's going on at the club, really. I mean, I'd be devastated if we didn't go up again. And more just because people would enjoy it more that we haven't, basically, at this point.
Did you go to Wembley last season?
I did go to Wembley, yes.
And how did you feel at the end when you lost?
Honestly, obviously it's bad when you get to Wembley and lose, and I think a lot of Wrexham fans probably felt the same. We were a bit like, well, it doesn't matter because we're in the playoffs and we're going to go up through that and we'll win in Wembley in a few weeks' time and it'll be brilliant. And then obviously we didn't. So it was sort of double jeopardy, really. And I can remember walking past some of the other fans in there outside of Wembley, and they were all going, "We'll see you next season, lads." And it's kind of like, no, you won't, because we're just going to go through the playoffs now. And then obviously we're still here. So
I think
it's how it is.
The thing that I mean. How many fans? I'm not being funny. I'm genuinely interested. Before all this happened with Hollywood, how many fans were you getting at Wrexham? What was it like before the takeover? How desperate had it got? Because I'm looking at what's going on at Wrexham and trying to draw parallels with Oldham. Because I think what you've said there about how difficult it is, you can play brilliantly every season and not go up, and it must become so demoralising. So, what was the mood before the takeover at Wrexham?
I mean, if you put it into context of where we were, say, I mean, Wrexham nearly died so many times in the past, and I think once you get that low, I mean, anything's a bonus after that, basically. So the fact the club existed after what went on sort of, 15, 16 years ago, however long it was now, that's a good thing. And I think everyone from Wrexham, even if you're not a football fan, always has some connection to the club, which I think, one thing this documentary is doing really well is showing that people always get behind the club. And I know that there's a lot of people, who sort of have second teams in Wrexham as well, who will always follow the club and sort of, go to games whenever they can. But I think what's happened recently is that it's a tough one. I don't really know what I'm trying to say here, but basically, like, a lot of people had second teams in Wrexham in the past, and I think now that they're doing so well, I think people are seeing, say they supported Liverpool or United, for example, and they're having to pay 65, 70 quid to go and watch them. Why would you do that when you can go and watch Wrexham for 15, 20 quid and actually see the investment go into the club and do well? I think the fact that we're actually being backed by the right people is huge, and I think people are just, they're just really positive at the minute. That's all I can say, really. I think prior to the takeover, we were still getting good attendances, and I think that's part of the reason why Rob and Ryan were actually attracted to the club, because we've been in the National League for 15 years now, and we were still getting thousands of fans each week, despite being pretty bad at times. So I'd like to think that the only way is up, and the attendances sort of speak for themselves at the minute, but you just never know with the National League. I think it's just good that we're getting close to 10,000 people every week in a league like the one that we're in, basically.
Yeah. In terms of the fan base, then, is there any, obviously you bankrolled it last season, you signed the players like Paul Mullen and people like that.
Yeah.
Was there any negativity following the playoffs or any backlash towards Rob and Ryan? Because, obviously you might not see that in terms of on the documentary, but I was really keen to understand, was there any negativity? Because the guy who owns, is it the pub next door? I can't remember. Is it
Wayne, the Turf, yeah.
Yeah, he was quite vocal to say, if we don't go up this season, that's it, it's over. And was there any backlash within the fan base towards the owners?
I mean, from what I heard, any backlash that there wasn't necessarily aimed towards Rob and Ryan, because I think even though they are trying to get involved with the club as much as they can, they are kind of sort of in a standoff position. Bringing in like people like Fleur to sort of look after the day-to-day run of the club and such. I think at times Parky got a bit of stick for being quite, I don't know, one-dimensional is probably not the right word, but he wouldn't change things often. But I think this season he has kind of changed that a fair bit. After Chesterfield, everyone was sort of worried that he'd just carry on doing the same thing, but he seems to have tactically started mixing things up, and it's starting to pay dividends, really. But no, I don't think there was really much towards Rob and Ryan, because, they're just so into it. It's just nice to have owners that are actually passionate about the club and doing and saying the right things as well. It just makes a change, really.
I don't think that there's much you can do, though. Like, you can't do much more than what Wrexham did last season. They didn't win the league, but it was very close. They were miles ahead of third place. And we said this before, haven't we, that it favours the teams that finish strongly and come into the playoffs rather than the teams.
Yeah.
It must be so demoralising as a fan, and not as a fan, but as a player and as a squad. It's really, really hard to keep your chin up when you played brilliantly all season. Clearly, you're the first or second best team in the league. You should be going up, and then you get that kick in the tits where you're having to just go into the playoffs.
Kick in the tits?
Yeah. I mean,
I get kicked in the teeth, but
if you get kicked in the tits, you won't. But you know what I mean. You lose the momentum.
100%.
The team that's finishing strong has got all. They're feeling great because they've made the players they didn't think they were going to. The momentum. It's so unfair.
Yeah, and like if you only just make the playoffs as well, you're in that position then where it's kind of like, well, we've got nothing to lose now. It's like a bonus that we're here, basically. And obviously, Wrexham have that thing as well, where basically, this is a very sort of youth football phrase, but we're everyone's cup final at the minute. It's always like, let's piss off the Wrexham fans. But you know what I mean? Like, that everyone's, Wrexham
like
are so big.
You're the League Cup final, like Oldham and
We're the champions.
Alright, then we're everybody's LDV Vans Trophy final, aren't we?
No, to be fair though, like, we're looking forward to having you up in Oldham, because you're going to bring a proper following. Like, I mean, it's at this level. There's only a handful of games, isn't there, where you've got a proper away following. It's going to be a really big crowd. So we're looking forward.
Yeah, and one thing that is really positive after most Wrexham games is that there is always a handful of home fans who will say fair play to them for bringing such good fan bases with them. The Wrexham following now, and I think it's again partly because of what's been going on with the takeover and stuff, that those fans that maybe aren't in Wrexham anymore, started almost been mobilised to sort of go to away games and stuff like that because they are such big occasions now. So, I'd be lying if I was saying it's not the best time to be a Wrexham fan because it's amazing. Like it's the best. But how long can we stay in this league? How can it happen?
This is the thing, though. I mean, you could feasibly do the same could happen this season as happened last season. You can have a really, really good season and fall at the last hurdle, and it's nobody's fault.
No, I know.
That's the thing, and that's where Dave was saying about getting annoyed or angry towards. It's no one's fault. If you're head and shoulders with everybody else, and you fail by a hair, then it's just one of those things, and you've just got to go again the season after. But the problem becomes how sustainable is it within the costs and funding and all that kind of stuff. I guess if you're getting crowds of 10,000, it should be we should generate a reasonable amount of money, but probably not enough to generate.
And I think that they slightly cover this in the doc. Basically saying that for every season that you stay in this league that you don't get promoted, you basically lose £1 million or $1 million. That they're worth the same now, aren't they? And back in the day when the trust owned the club, something like that, when you're losing that much money, that's huge. Whereas now we almost kind of have that comfort barrier where Ryan Reynolds is worth how many $1 million, like where we can kind of we could sustain ourselves for a bit longer. Whether he'd want to carry on or not is a different thing. I'd like to think he would.
Yeah.
But I think, it's got to happen soon. It just has to. I mean, I know that, you can, the probability-wise, that doesn't always have to happen. But as a Wrexham fan, you've just got to sit there and think, we can't do another 15 years of this. Especially
we're just going to bring Sean in now. I think you know him, Sean Winter, who's the one of the hosts of the Wrexham and Lager podcast, who's agreed to
the Hollywood star.
Well, you may be able to recognise him. We'll just bring him in. Sean, can you hear us, mate?
Oh, can you hear me, lads? Just about.
Sounds like you're down a well, Sean.
Can't hear you, man.
Can you hear us now?
Sounds like the man in the box.
I'm a little man in the... Hello?
That's actually really good.
He can do it.
Is that better? Have you got us, mate?
No, we can't hear you, mate.
Have I unmuted his mic?
No, wasn't that.
No.
I don't think.
No. I think you've chose to mute yourself there, Sean. Right, anyway, sorry. Sean, can't hear us now.
Can't hear anything,
right,
no.
so just try again, mate. Try logging back in. You should kick him, yeah?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
See, with me producer head on, I'd usually be saying cut to a song or something like that. But it's quite nice having to see you two deal with it.
Doing it live
we're not asked, are we?
I'm very.
we don't have to worry about it too much, do we? We put all our energy into the Wheel of Wonder, don't we?
Yeah, we do have the Wheel of Wonder as well. So,
what's the Wheel of Wonder?
Wow! Get in there if you want, or catch up on YouTube. Top prizes to be won. Yeah, but we'll get onto that later because there is a secret word that our guest listeners, callers have to say, and you will get on the wheel.
Spin the wheel if you say the word.
Yeah.
Should we bring an Oldham fan?
Yeah, we'll bring an Oldham fan in. You don't mind having a quick chat to one of the...
Nah, feel free.
Michael. Hello.
Hello.
All right, mate.
How you doing, mate?
I'm all right.
All right. Have you got anything to say to this Wrexham fan? He fancies himself as coming away from Boundary Park with 3 points on Saturday. What do you reckon, Michael? Has he got any chance, or is he right to be confident?
They might have a small chance, but I think Oldham turned up against big teams like last season. We're losing 5-0 against Forest Green. What happened then? No, we went 5-1. And then we came back. It was like fire.
Is it going to be five? You saying it's going to be 5-5 on Saturday against Wrexham?
No, I reckon we're going to put at least 4 against them.
We're going to put 4 against them.
At least 4, at least. Wow. Yeah. It's going to be another Dover game, isn't it, basically?
Are you predicting that maybe Wrexham get 2 centre-halves sent off in the first 10 minutes? Because if they do, we might have a chance. Other than that...
I reckon it'll be 4-2 Oldham.
Do you reckon? I hope it is. What did you predict for the Bromley game last week when you were on?
I was on last week.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, well, you know.
See, finger on the button as always there, Matt. I knew you were on, Michael, and I said an hat-trick for Fondant, didn't I, against Bromley? But yeah, there we go. What do you think the score will be, Matt?
I think Wrexham will win. I think, they're sort of riding a high at the minute.
We can cut you off, Matt. We can cut you off.
All right, I'll say what I think Oldham will obviously put up a fight, and I think like all clubs do when, like I said earlier, when they play Wrexham, they just want to make sure that they try and get a result. I reckon it'll be scrappy. I reckon Wrexham will win 3-1. And you can kick me off now if you want, Dave.
I reckon Wrexham will win as well, to be honest.
And this is the thing, like the tough thing is that obviously Wrexham are scoring so many at the minute that, like, I don't know if Michael's taking the mick saying 4-2, but it's like that's the sort of score that you would imagine that Oldham would have to score that many to sort of outscore Wrexham, so to say. So yeah, I think Wrexham will win, but I think Oldham will put up a fight.
Our defence is piss poor, and we can't score for shit. It's a good way of putting it.
One shot on target in the last 2 games.
Yeah, so if we beat you, it's going to be a miracle.
All right, then 3-0 I'll go with to Wrexham.
I would, based on the evidence, but we have had a new signing, haven't we? So maybe that'll make.
He used to play for you, didn't he, Rooney? John Rooney.
Yeah, he left Chester to come to us. So
how did he do for you?
Fine is literally how I would describe it. He was all right, like he's I think he scored like 10 goals or something like that, which isn't awful. Has he been all right for Oldham?
He's not played yet.
Oh, is he not?
No, I only signed the other day, so this week. So just in time for your cup final on Saturday. So
I'm absolutely wounded. I'm not leaving there on Saturday, mate.
Pardon?
I'm not there on Saturday.
You're not? Why? What are you doing?
I'm actually in Wales.
Nice.
You're going the wrong way, mate. They're supposed to go
here. Michael. We're at home, Michael.
I'm in Wales for my sister's dancing competition. So.
Oh, devastated.
Whereabouts in Wales is it, Michael?
Prestatyn.
Sorry.
All right. Well.
Good luck to your sister.
Yeah.
Anyway,
good luck to your sister. All the best.
Fair play to you for being a good brother.
Yeah.
Right, listen, Matt, we'll bring you out now, and we'll try Sean again. But thanks very much for getting involved.
Nice one. Thanks for having me, guys.
Are you coming up on Saturday?
Well, funnily enough, no, because I'm going to my sister's birthday in Sheffield. So,
sisters,
mate. But please keep in touch and be a friend of the show. And on the return visit to Wrexham, we'll get you back on if you're up for it, mate.
100%, guys. Honestly. Nice one.
Cheers, mate.
Good luck with the podcast, guys.
Enjoy the wedding.
Mate.
Bye.
You.
Cheers, guys.
Right, Sean, let's give you another go, mate. Hello.
Sean.
Hello, lads. I couldn't hear the thing then.
There we are.
Go.
How
you doing, mate?
It turns out I was on another device. So anyway, we've got past that issue. Here I am.
That's the way it goes.
How you do? Thanks for joining us, mate. Really appreciate it. Do you want to tell us about your podcast that you do, mate?
Wrexham and Lager. So our podcast is basically what you call a pub chat. I'm a straight talker as a comment, and I'll say things that maybe other people won't say, as well as James Simmons, who does it with me. So it's basically what you'd hear in a pub and what you say in a pub to the lads, but then we have the occasional guest here and there. Now, Great. The only trouble being is we say we're going to do these podcasts all the time. Well, we've done 3 so far.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not quite good enough. We have done another 2, but they've not been edited. Right. So.
Yeah. So what are people saying in the pubs about Wrexham then? What's the chat over a lager? What is it?
It's really exciting, mate. I mean, you've seen how many goals we're banging in at the moment. It's exciting times to be a Wrexham fan. I mean, obviously we've got a bit of cash in the bank now, haven't we? Which Wrexham hasn't had it for years, have they? No. So it's just nice. I mean, never has the club deserved it more. Really, you'll probably argue that, but I mean. We've been down here 14 seasons, and I think as you guys are going to find out, it's a fucking tough league. It really is, lads. And it's just, at the moment, it's good to be a Wrexham fan, but then we always think, are we destined to be down here? Because it's, well, I mean, we've had 98 points and knock out this league.
Yeah.
You see what happened last season. The amount of times we've been through the playoffs, and it's just like, I mean, it doesn't have only one go up. That's such a killer. This league is so hard. I'm like, I don't know what you guys think, But when we come down, we're like, well, we'll have a season down here, shall we? We'll put a few teams to bed, and then boom, we'll go back to the Football League. But it just doesn't go that way,
Yeah, we have the people in our fan base that were thinking that, and then I think the state of our club, I think if you end up getting relegated out of the Football League, you are in trouble, aren't you? You're not a well-run club. You've got historical difficulties, and you're heading in the wrong direction. And there's a lot going wrong, isn't there? So
I mean, you think some big clubs been down here. I mean, Oldham are a big club, Wrexham are a big. They're two names that should not be in the same breath as conference football, are they? Grimsby, Stockport. We could go on. Dagenham, Redbridge. We've had big teams come down here. The only thing is, the others have managed to get back up, and Wrexham somehow haven't done it as of yet. But touch wood, this has got to be our year. But then I'll be honest with you, lads. I say this every year.
Yeah, that's what worries me, really, to be honest.
Go on, then. What score? Because Michael, who's on the call, thinks it's going to be 4-2 to Oldham. So what do you think, mate?
3-1 Wrexham, mate. And I just think I can't see us not scoring. I just think we're just on fire because Wrexham have got goals from everywhere. I mean, Tozer's long throwing, free kicks, corners, but we're deadly from everywhere at the moment. So. But then it's a derby, isn't it? Everything goes out the window in a derby.
Yeah. It's like England versus Wales, isn't it? That's what it's going to be. It's going to be.
Of course it is, yeah. And it's going to be some atmosphere as well, lads, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm dead surprised it wasn't on the TV, to be honest with you, because it would look great on the telly. But listen, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, Sean, but your microphone, it sounds really bad. It keeps crackling and cutting the way you're talking. So
keep cutting out, mate.
It's not going to sound great on the podcast when it comes out. So
no
sorry about that. But it was good to get your views. I think you're dead right. I think we're going to struggle to get out of this division, and you're going to probably put a few passes on the weekend and beat us. So
give us a buzz, mate. Yeah, we'll sort it out. Yeah.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers. Have a good one. Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
That was a shame because that was crackling away there, wasn't it? Michael, all these Wrexham fans seem to think that they're going to batter us, mate. What do you reckon?
No. I really wanted to argue with that guy then, but he weren't stopping talking.
What were you going to say? What would you have said?
I just think Wrexham fans is like, they think it's like, I think because they've got these new actor in from wherever he's from, Hollywood, wherever. They've got a load of money where other clubs like others just haven't got it, and it's like
the Hollywood legend, yeah.
But you can imagine feeling a bit. I mean, you can imagine if Oldham was in a similar situation, what some of our fans would be like. They'd be dead smug and all, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I just think. What do you think? You really do think it will be 3-2? 4-2, sorry.
No, I don't. But I do think we're going to win. I'm not saying we're going to lose, but I just think we're going to score quite a few.
Quite a few. Who's going to score?
I bet this new Rooney guy, I think he's going to score one. Mickey with an header.
McGahey. I think he's injured, mate.
Yeah.
But
Michael.
Come on, Michael.
Put yourself in any glory here, mate.
I know, yeah.
If Gardner's back, he's back in now, Gardner, isn't he?
I'm not sure, mate.
Well, if he is, then I think he will.
Right.
Thanks for calling, mate. We're going to bring Graham in now. All right, pal.
All right. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Take care. Graham.
All right, mate.
Hello.
How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah. How's France?
It's very wet and miserable, a bit like Oldham.
Do you have any headphones, mate? Because again, your microphone's crackling a bit.
Yeah,
you don't have any
got a bit of
headphones,
crackle
do you?
Just have
I can go and get. Is that any
if you
better?
don't mind,
just give me a minute.
We'll bring Michael in while you sort that out. Yo,
Michael.
I'm back. Yep.
Oh, that's you. I thought that was the other fella. I thought it was another Michael.
Yeah,
all right. Listen, you wanted to argue with a Wrexham fan. Let's bring Gav Wrexham in.
Oh, Gav WXM.
I'm going to assume that means Wrexham. Is it Gav?
Oh, it might mean silence in Welsh or English. Gav?
He's too scared to talk. He's scared. Gav.
Fighting talk. Gav, are you going to talk to Michael?
Come on, Gav.
No.
No.
Remove.
Did you? Right, fair enough. Right, so it's just Matt, Dave, and Michael. What do you?
There was a big queue a minute ago. Have they all gone?
I know, yeah. If you do want to call in, just click the link on Twitter.
Twitter.
So, Matt, if you just want to show
this
people
is
how
out.
to call.
This is out.
The Latties Football Phone is live every Wednesday between 8:30 and 9:30. If you want to join the conversation, then you need to join us on our StreamYard link, which looks something like this. You'll find the StreamYard link in our pinned post on Facebook, Twitter, and in the comments section on YouTube. So if you want to join the debate, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone is out there, all 80 of you are watching and 2 likes on Facebook, please, I don't know what you're liking, but hey, we've got Alex who's just called in. Let's get him on. And we've got Gav as well. They're all flying in now.
Right, let's try Gav.
Yeah, come on. Alex, we'll be with you shortly. There's 2 mins, mate, yeah?
Gav. You're on mute, Gav.
Unmute yourself, Gav. Gav.
No, we'll try Alex. Maybe. All right, Alex.
How you doing, lads? You all right?
Yes, thanks.
Good, mate. What would you like to say?
Well, I came on to moan about Bromley rather than anything else, but I don't know. Did you guys cover that at the start?
No,
by all means.
We've been a bit Wrexham heavy tonight.
I thought I'd bring it a bit back down a level. They're a bit too optimistic, so we'll go with Bromley. It was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, really was.
What were your thoughts? What do you think of Unsworth's tactics, shape, team selection? Anything?
It's hard to criticise. I think him after a game, isn't it? Really, but it just carried on from the last few games, which have been pretty dire. But the goalpost moving was my highlight. I've never seen that before.
No, me neither.
Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't the best. I think the worrying thing for me was that we didn't have anyone in the midfield who could put a tackle in. I thought Cooper was okay, but again he was marking 3 men. Burgess powder puff, Wellings powder puff. Tollett, embarrassing to say the very least, with the ball bouncing over his head. Fondop, crap. Luamba looked lost. Nathan Sheeran looked all right. Norman looked dodgy as ever. Threckeld was bad. Couto looked all right, though, but he came on in like a defensive midfielder, sort of where Stobbs, I thought he was the best player, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, he probably was.
He's probably the standout player, and that is saying something because he does get a bad rap, and it is borderline abusive what he gets, if I'm honest with you. So the fans need to lay off him when you're putting the effort in more than anyone else was. What were your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think Stobbs at least brings a bit of energy. His end product isn't really there, but he does at least give a bit of energy. But yeah, I think we're just missing that midfield crunch, aren't we? We're missing someone to dictate it. I think Rooney sounds like he's a bit of a creative player, but I'm not sure he's going to give us the sort of the needle in midfield that we're missing.
Well, so what do you think of the signing of Rooney then? Are you happy with it?
Seems to be. Can't say I've ever seen him, but he seems to come with positive reviews, and his goal scoring record for midfield is pretty good. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean midfield is so important. I mean it's obvious to say, but like a good midfield strengthens your defence, and a good midfield boost your attack, and we've been poor in defence and we've been poor in attack. So I think the fact that like your midfield can make your forwards look better and it can make your defence look better, can't it? And I think that we need to get that sorted out. I thought we were talking about shape and stuff, but I thought the 4-3-3 left far too exposed with the players we've got and the lack of midfield that we've got. That was a very strange.
Interestingly, Bromley dropped to a 5-3-2, didn't they? And we just couldn't break them down. They were so compact at the back. But the 3 at the front were lightweight. Fondop weren't putting it about. McGlynn looked okay when he came on. But again, I thought he'd be a bit of a bigger lad. But you were only quite small, weren't he, to be fair to him? He wasn't a big lad.
Yeah, it all looked, for me, it just looks like, I mean, some of those lads on that Bromley team were ginormous, weren't they? They were absolute units. They were really tall. They were strong, powerful lads. But the teams it's the same story every time. The teams that we come up against are bigger, more physical, fitter, and better organised than we are. And
better, aren't they?
They're just better. Yeah, they're just better in every way. And the teams that we beat, like
Bromley, you're the best.
Who've we beat?
What was it?
Dorking,
Aldershot,
and Eastleigh.
Yeah.
So, with all due respect to those teams,
you must be terrible.
You want Mike?
I said they must be terrible.
Well, yeah. I mean, but we struggled against Dorking, didn't we? We made hard work of that. We made hard work of Aldershot. We made hard work of Eastleigh.
Yeah.
So I'm fearful for, and I think that Unsworth as well is fearful. I think he's been looking at that performance the other day, and he's been desperate to bring players in because I think he must think that we're going to get an absolute pasting off Wrexham on Saturday.
How do you think Vaughan will cope with Rooney in the midfield, pushing him on, and maybe Gardner sort of sweeping up at the back, maybe?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how they will fit together, because I imagine Vaughan and Rooney are fairly similar. Again, I've never seen Rooney play, so I don't really know, but assuming they're fairly attacking, Gardner obviously sits back a bit more now and tries to dictate, but I still think we're just missing someone in the middle to sort of break up the play and then give it to those guys. I don't really rate Charlie Cooper. From what I've seen.
I think he gets a bad rap because he has to do all the nasty work. And to be fair, when you're overrunning midfield and you got to do tackling, you can't tackle two players. You know, against Chesterfield, I thought he was the best midfielder when Gardner went off. Although we got beat 2-0, he did well. He did well on Saturday, but he was just on his own and he was isolated. You know, I was talking to someone today about Gardner. You know, maybe with Rooney coming in, Gardner doesn't have the confidence to play the ball in midfield to another midfielder because he doesn't have the confidence that they can get him out of trouble. With Gardner and Rooney together, both two good players and creative midfield players, they can pass it around each other and probably work a triangle, bringing in Vaughan. So if them three in the middle, potentially, and Vaughan feeding into the attack, it might be a good outlet. But it's just, you know, Wrexham are probably the worst team you could come up against in that scenario, couldn't you? Because they are well organised, a team who've not really made any new signings. They're a team from last season who, and the culture is about winning. All right, they got beat in the playoffs, but they're on a roll, aren't they? And it's going to be hard to stop the old dragon train rolling through Boundary Park. And I'm a bit nervous for Saturday, if I'm honest.
I can see it being a bit of a thumping on Saturday, but I think we've got to move past that. Then November's got a few easy fixtures, and hopefully with a couple of new signings, we can sort of.
Everyone said that against Liverpool in the FA Cup. Liverpool will come to us, will batter us, and you know. But you just
you don't know.
There's definitely no such thing as easy fixtures in this league for us. I think we're not good enough for easy fixtures, but there are some fixtures that you would prefer to have than others, and. Yeah, I think, Michael, we're going to remove you from the stream, mate. Thanks very much.
Yep.
We'll sort your shirt out this weekend, mate. We'll sort it out. Got it. We're going to get it from the club, so we've got that ready for you, mate. Okay.
All right. Cheers.
See you, boy. And we'll bring in Graham. How's that now?
Is it any better?
That's worse. It's worse. Graham.
I would describe the sound as crunchy.
Yeah, it sounds like you're eating your microphone.
But you're not. We can see you're not. We know you're not.
It's bad. I think it's a bad line.
It is a bad line, yeah, because you're a bit pixelated and that.
French Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no, we'll bring that out. Sorry, mate.
So what score do you think it'll be then, Alex?
Could be anything. I reckon 3-0 Wrexham.
Goodness me.
I'm not confident. I'd like to be more confident. I just think this season we've been so bad so far.
But Rooney comes from good pedigree, you know, football family. So what do you make of that? Do you think he's got, you know, do you think he's anywhere near what his brother is like or not?
Well, we've got Rooney's brother, Carragher's son, Welland's son. So we're getting there, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got like the relations, haven't we? Like the poor relations.
Carragher's lad looks like a proper player.
He does.
He's 19. He's massive, isn't he? And I saw him like giving out the instructions at Bromley and chatting, and you know, looks like a leader. Looks like he's his father's son for sure.
With the amount of loans we've had, you can tell the players that are going to make it usually, can't you? From a couple of appearances, and I think he's one of them.
He is definitely, yeah, and you can. It's frustrating because I think we've got to be patient, but you turn up to each game. It's like going into this one on Saturday with a certain sort of sense of dread, really, because especially when it's a big occasion, when it's a big game, you know, you don't. When it's like on Saturday against Bromley, getting taunted off a load of kids, you know, like a lot of school kids in the corner, and they're giving you grief, and you know, I mean, it's not going to hurt my feelings because I'm too long in the tooth to be worried about that, but. Still dents your pride a little bit, and when there's like 2,500, 3,000 Welshmen come up, they're going to be mocking us, aren't they? And you know, it's you've just got to suck it up, haven't you? It's annoying.
I don't know about you, but I didn't find the kids at Bromley that I couldn't really get too upset by it, because I just thought it was a bit embarrassing that we're there getting tonked 3-0 at Bromley. It'll be worse, I think, on Saturday when
it will be worse. Yeah,
fans,
but the thing is at the end of the day, it's football, isn't it? And you can go into all kinds of games thinking we're going to get hammered here, and it doesn't happen. Sometimes teams give you something that you're not expecting, and maybe we get a bit of luck. Maybe Wrexham get a sending off or something. And like when Chesterfield came up and we gave them those 2 goals early on. I mean,
the second one was abysmal by Clark at the back, and he's not playing at the moment. Is he injured? Has he been dropped?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it's a new start, isn't it? It's a new manager, so
yeah, potentially, yeah. In terms of Hunter's appointment, Alex, what did you think of it? Did you think it was a good move putting him on a 3-year deal, or do you think it's a bit risky with him being such his first management role? What are your thoughts on that?
I think any appointment's a risk, isn't it? So I think if you're gonna bring someone in, you've got to back him, and I think a 3-year deal does that. I don't know. We could have brought anyone in, and people would. Some people criticise it. I think it's a decent appointment based on his experience at Everton. So we'll just have to see. But he seems to have quite good. People sort of rate him quite highly at Everton, from what I hear. So
yeah.
Obviously, we all have to give David Unsworth lots of time because he's only been in the role 2 minutes. But what do you make of some of the fans' reactions towards the players on Saturday? There was a lot of boos and discontentment. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that it's productive, counterproductive, or what?
I get it. I do get it, because it was awful on Saturday, and people have come a long way, spent a lot of time, spent a lot of money. So I get people's frustration, but I don't think it's helpful at this point. I think last season, when everything was downhill, the off the pitch stuff was bad. Then fair enough. But I think at the minute we just have to give them a bit of time and a bit of slack, and hope that things turn around sooner rather than later. But yeah, I don't think it does the players any good, especially when a lot of them are kids as well, that sort of in their first few games of professional football.
Answer me this: if we get beat by Wrexham, but then win against Scunthorpe, do you think that's a good starting point? Because they've got a bit of a new manager bounce now. Or if we lose against Wrexham, lose against Scunthorpe, what do you think then? There's 2 scenarios there that I did actually appreciate that.
We'll lose both, and we really are in trouble, because I think if we lose to Scunthorpe at home, that's got to be one of the games where we target 3 points. But
like last season where we got beat 3-1.
Exactly.
That was probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
Yeah. No,
it's down there with Bromley, if I'm honest.
Was it as bad as that?
Yeah, it was.
You think?
I wasn't.
It was freezing cold as well.
Was that last year?
Imagine Bromley, but
Boxing Day,
freezing.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
The only saving grace that I wasn't in the car for 9 hours with you.
I was trying to think why I wasn't there, but I just remembered that I was boycotting.
Yeah.
And I was like, where was I? I was in the country. Why didn't I go to the game? And I was like, oh no, I wasn't going to games. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about relegation. I don't want to talk about the possibility of us getting relegated. But at the end of the day, if you keep losing games, you're always in danger of going down, aren't you? I think if you there's all these old cliches, isn't there, in football? You're only as good as your last performance and all this kind of stuff. Well, if you're only as good as your last performance, we're in trouble. But there's also a long way to go. Yeah, there is a long way to go. So, but losing against Wrexham and somebody down there wins, then it brings us. And I think, in terms of the mindset, we were talking about this on the podcast this week about psychology and all this kind of stuff, and fans booing players and getting on their backs and struggling to sort of put it into context a little bit and getting emotional about all these things, when really you'd think that encouragement does better. But then at the same time, the flip side to that is we play at Boundary Park, we've got good crowds, we've got a brilliant atmosphere. It doesn't make and the performances aren't any better. So does encouragement make people play better? It's tough to answer. It's tough to answer in it, but it's really hard to keep your frustrations in. Especially off the back of a 5-hour trip.
Yeah, I do think one of the bits that we've sort of played down as well is the injuries. I'm not saying the lads that are out are world beaters, but people like Hope and people like you'd hope Porter. Obviously, Gardner's not played every game. Hogan,
Hogan, yeah,
exactly. So there's quite a few experienced players that you would hope would come back in and make quite a big difference. And the team that we've got out at the minute, isn't competitive at this level. So we need them to come back. But I think amongst all of the frustration, that's been missed a bit.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, the counter argument to that is that we signed a lot of players that were
not good enough,
injury prone, either too old and injury prone or too young and inexperienced. And so it wasn't great. It wasn't great
no
recruitment.
Balance, is there?
Well, I think we've come back to this numerous times though. Like the numerous. Yeah, it's like numerous. But there's recruitment was difficult over the summer, and I think we just signed players who would say because we were really struggling with the situation. So that's why I think people really could do with people just kind of like backing off a little bit and having a bit of patience and allow us with time.
Didn't they? Oh, give Curl a bit of time. He can't sign anyone. It's an embargo. Next thing you know, you're in a relegation scrap.
I know, but what can you do?
Win
it's
games.
You know what? Yeah, okay, but it's like you mourning on traffic on Saturday, like sitting there, like, oh yeah, on the way to because you brought us the wrong way. We have to go through the middle of London. Right. So first of all, it's your fault, right? Secondly, all that traffic in front of you isn't going to move. So mourning at it and swearing and getting all annoyed doesn't do any good, does it? The writing F off on a piece of paper doesn't do any good either, does it? There.
I don't want to swear.
The point is that it doesn't do any good.
No.
So you have to be patient.
Blind ignorance of going, oh well, it's just that and this and that. It's just.
It's not blind ignorance, Dave. You were the one who thought we were going to stay up last season and we were going to get promoted at the beginning of this season.
I was positive, but they killed my spirit. My spirit's broken.
All right. It wasn't broken under Abdallah, but it's broken now.
No,
is that what you're saying? As long as you were getting a 200,
a bad guy.
As long as you were getting a 200 quid season ticket, you were all
that's
right.
it.
You shouldn't even be mourning.
£8.53.
You should be enjoying them all then.
Well, I'm not. That's the irony.
I know.
Isn't it ironic? Let's try Graham.
Let's try Graham again.
Come on, Graham. We've got everything crossed for you.
Oh, it looks better.
Is it good?
Let's just try. Let's just carry on. Make your point quick. See what let's see how we get on. What do you want to say, mate?
Is it the players or is it the manager?
Well, it's not Unsworth, is it? Because he's only had one game.
Not Unsworth, but for all the shares out and everything else. I just don't think we've got the players, have we?
No, I don't think we have got good enough players for sure.
Yeah, I think it's been everyone says consolidation. It's consolidation. I think this season, the next few games, if we don't get any results, I think we're in the National League and that's it. We're not going to hit the playoffs. We're not going to hit any form of success. We might win the Lancashire Senior Cup or the FA Trophy and concentrate on that and go on a bit of a cup run. But other than that, if we get a result on Saturday, this could be the stepping stone of moving up the table.
Yeah, it could be. But you said that. Well, you could win on Saturday and then go ahead and lose against Scunthorpe.
That's Oldham,
there's all these different scenarios that could go. I mean, I think short-termism is the problem. I think thinking, we've got to win this game. We don't have to win any. We don't have to win the game against Wrexham. We don't have to. If you lose both games, it's not going to be great, but it's not the end of the world either. So, I think that's what the manager will always be focusing on, and the board. They've got to improve the squad. There's no doubt about that. This is the National League, so we don't have to wait until January for transfers, as we're seeing.
Yeah.
We can bring people in. So,
Matt, what do you lads think about the new manager, the appointment?
I think on paper it's a good appointment. I think he's well connected. He's a good coach. He's proven at bringing through young players, but he's been brought in on a 3-year deal because it's going to take time.
It's a big job.
Exactly, and so we need somebody who's committed to that job and isn't going to run away and shirk the responsibility. I don't see David Unsworth being a shirker. I see him as being someone who's going to get stuck in, roll his sleeves up. He's obviously had this conversation. He knows the game. It's like you said before, Alex. Any signing, any appointment there's a risk involved in it. It may work, it may not work. We've had so many different people over these last. We've had more managers than Watford, haven't they? They've just sacked and brought in another one, but we've had more. It's crazy, and it's no wonder that our collective psychology is ruined.
Yeah.
We just everyone's all over the place. We're desperately in need of stability and growth, and it doesn't matter to me if that growth is slow and small as long as it's growth, because we've been in decline for such a long time.
Yeah,
and it's we've got to everyone's just got to accept how dire our situation was and still is. But imagine how much our club could have gone bust. We might have been sitting here. Imagine the situation.
Days away.
I know, days away. Imagine how the situation now could be. So we've got a team, and if we finish one place above the relegation spot this season, and we stay in this division, then we've got next season, and we can go forward. I just think it's everyone who thinks, we've got to get promoted this season. We don't have to get promoted this season, and chances are we won't. And so manage your expectations. We haven't got the team, no.
Thanks, Graham. Really appreciate you coming on, mate.
Sorry, the sound's still really not bad. Not good, Graham. Sorry, mate.
Cheers, pal. Thanks.
All
Bye.
Right, cheers.
Right, we've got Reese Williams. We're going to add him into the stream. Just 1 second. Reese, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm a Wrexham follower.
Oh, yeah.
All right, okay.
Never mind.
Well,
are you coming up to Boundary Park on Saturday?
No, I'm going to be watching the game live.
You're going to be watching it live?
Yeah.
At Boundary Park?
No.
On telly?
Yeah.
Is it on telly?
I follow or something like that.
all right, I follow. Right. Well, interesting that we can't. Yeah. Be interesting if you can. I don't think they're streaming the game, but yeah, good luck with it. What score do you think it'll be, Reese?
I'm sorry to say, but 3-0 Wrexham.
Right, and who's going to score?
Ollie Palmer with 2 goals and Paul Mullin with
And who's your favourite player for Wrexham?
One thing I love about us is the toes are long throw.
The toes are long throw, okay. But who's your favourite player?
Favourite player is Aaron Hayden.
Right, and how's he done this season for you?
I think we'll finish second.
You'll finish second. Who do you think will go up then?
I think it will either be Chesterfield or Notts County.
Right.
You'd be gutted if you finish second again, though, won't you?
Are you from Wrexham?
No, I'm from England. I just follow Wrexham.
You're from England.
Whereabouts?
Birmingham.
Oh, yeah. How come you follow Wrexham then?
Yeah, because I like watching Ryan Reynolds.
You like watching Ryan Reynolds? Well, there you go.
That's
let's hope
interesting,
that
isn't it?
Ryan Reynolds watches us and likes the show. Thanks, Reese. You've been brilliant. Thanks, pal. Take care. I think that was the Abdallah guy, wasn't it?
I think it was
100%.
Yeah.
It was 100%. But
yeah.
But at least he wasn't a. Should we what? I'm not gonna say.
But he needs some.
He had some knowledge.
Players,
he had some knowledge.
Throw, so maybe you're wrong, Dave.
I could be.
You're just a suspicious mind, haven't you?
I'm very suspicious.
Alex.
Yeah.
What's John Rooney's brother called?
Wayne.
Oh!
There you go.
It's the word for the Wheel of Wonder.
Yes. So why don't you?
It
play
didn't
the
look
jingle?
like anyone was going to say it. So you've got.
Made it look really bad. That we should have got it out in the intro bit, but never mind.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the intro.
Sugar, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry, that was my fault.
Matt, we are nominated.
Alex,
yeah.
What's Wayne Rooney's brother called?
Wayne Rooney's brother's called John.
This is getting worse.
Play the jingle for crying out loud.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wheel of Wonder.
Thanks, Matt. And tonight's prizes are a Boundary Park Alert System t-shirt, a jar of beef paste, a signed photo of Matt and Dave, an OAFC replica shirt, an OAFC set of coasters, or Mike Keegan, This Is How It Feels book, 2 complimentary tickets for the next home game. However, if you get a red card from the ref, you get nothing on the Wheel of Wonder!
I forgot about that. That there's a system.
So what's Wayne Rooney's brother called? John. There you go. Right. So Alex, after the count of 3, I want you to say, spin the wheel. 1, 2, 3.
Spin the wheel.
Wow, it's so fast that the camera can't keep up. What's it gonna land on? Oh, it's in the middle.
We're gonna have to go again.
No, you're all right. Would you like the t-shirt or the beef paste?
We'll go for the t-shirt.
Hey,
all right. Okay. Would you like us to try and get it signed for you by Unsworth, or do you just want it with not being signed?
If you can. We'll get
that done for you, mate. No problem. Are you going to the game on Saturday?
I am. Yeah.
Right, sound enough then. Well, after the game, just let us know where you are if you're about, or if you're shooting off. And send us an email to.
We'll message you now in the private message.
We'll drop your address on there, and then we'll share it via all internet and social media, so everyone knows where you live. No, we won't. No, we won't. No, but yeah, well done, mate. We'll get it signed from David Unsworth for you, mate. So that's good stuff.
Good stuff. Thanks.
So. Did you say it was going to be 3? Have we asked your score prediction?
Is this a different Michael?
No, I think it's the same Michael. He loves it, doesn't he?
Michael, who's that?
Is it the real? Is it Michael?
Is
Michael?
it the same Michael? Different Michael?
Come on! Michael. He's like our number 1 fan. He's like Jez off Partridge, isn't he?
We don't have any fans.
I do.
Yeah.
I get loads of fan mail.
Cease and desist letters. What do you mean?
How did you know? Anyway.
Right. Can you just send us your details to lattysfootballforning@gmail.com, please, Alex, and we'll sort that out for you. Oh, hang on. We've got another one here. Tim.
Fearless in.
Tim.
How you doing, chaps?
You all right?
You all right?
Right.
Yeah,
cheers, Alex. We'll talk to you soon, mate.
Cheers, awesome.
Take care. How you doing?
I'm all right. I've got a fucking clue what I let myself in for here. I just sort of dived on. I thought, right, let's get involved ahead of Saturday. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So I've literally just gate crashed it. So try not to.
Who do you support? Wrexham or Oldham?
Oh, okay. Good stuff. Yeah, it's good.
I thought I'd contribute to the party.
Yeah. Well, we've got.
Don't call it a party. It's more of a car
shambles.
Crash.
Yeah.
No. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. What do you think the score will be on Saturday, mate?
You're going to hammer us, aren't you? Let's be fair. You're going to batter us on Saturday.
I don't know is the honest answer, because it's that classic case, isn't it? You get a new manager and there's always a bounce back at some point, and it didn't happen at, was it Bromley?
Yeah, Bromley, 3-0 at Bromley, yeah.
So I was hoping there was going to be a bit of reaction then so we could get away with it. But it so happens to be the case that it's not quite gone to plan on Saturday. And obviously fucking John Rooney is likely to return to haunt us, along with Tollett or Fonda, whoever you want to take the pick from, really. So I would like to think we've got enough quality now, but when you're in this division for 15 seasons, you can be forgiven for being still to this day a little bit indecisive about what Wrexham's going to turn up, because our away form doesn't mirror our home form, basically. So,
have you got a ticket for the game? Are you coming to the game?
Yeah. I was been having sort of kittens this week about it, because I sort of missed out on the initial allocation for whatever reason. I don't know why that was, but I've been scrambling around for one, and there's been a few popping up today because people have been trying to get the time off and have been getting it refused. So I've had a couple offered to me. But the nice guy at the Oldham ticket office, because basically in my haste and in my panic, I accidentally bought Oldham versus Eastleigh tickets by accident. So I was like, tickets.
It's a good game, actually. It's a great game.
Well, yeah. I went on the site. I was like, fucking hell, they've released a few more tickets here. So I grabbed a couple, and there's me like grinning like a Cheshire cat going, I'm well chuffed I managed to get a couple of tickets. Turns out it was like the Eastleigh allocation of like 150 tickets or whatever. So to be fair, the guys at the Oldham ticket office, I've emailed them, and they said, "Oh, do you just want us to change your tickets into Wrexham away tickets instead?" I was like, "Yeah, great." So it looks like there's going to be another allocation released tomorrow on that basis.
You sold your allocation in about 39 minutes, which is really impressive, if I'm honest with you, because we take a good away following wherever we go. We took like 400 to Bromley, which is not bad to say. It's a 9-hour round trip. But yeah, it's quite impressive, that you sold that in 39 minutes, because I saw it on the Wrexham Twitter feed, and it was,
Have you been on to Boundary Park before? Because it's a long time since we played, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been there a few times, but in terms of the allocation, it wasn't run through our membership because we've got like a whole Ticketmaster thing now where you've got to be a member to get a ticket, season ticket, all the blah blah. But because Oldham just decided to sell it to basically anybody, if you like, so everybody's jumped on it, and because of the whole fanfare around the club at the moment, the documentary and the takeover, I think there's probably going to be a few day trippers going to it, no doubt. But
yeah,
I'd like to think most of the diehards have got all the fans, and there'll be plenty more tomorrow. But yeah, I've missed going to Oldham. It's always pissing freezing there, but I've missed going there over the years, to be honest.
Listen, it's going to be a great atmosphere. It will have changed a lot since you were there last. I mean, we've got a better fan base now and a better atmosphere than we did when we were in League One. Like it's turned around. I mean, it's not turned around on the pitch, but because we've been through such a shitty time. It's kind of brought everybody together. We've got a group of fans behind the goal that make a right racket, great atmosphere. So I think it could be one of those games on Saturday. I think as long as you don't look like when we played Chesterfield, we gave them 2 goals in the opening quarter of an hour, and that were it, game over. So as long as we can stay in it on Saturday, it could be a cracker.
Yeah,
really
I hope it's going to be the biggest game probably in that. Looking at the League Two fixtures as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I hope hopefully the safety advisory group will increase the allocation because usually they try and limit it. But I just hope it's just a really good atmosphere for both teams. There's no trouble, and everyone behaves as well as they should do as well. Because hopefully it could go one or two ways, and I just hope it will be just a good day. And hopefully it's like a 3-3 draw or something like that. So everyone's just seen loads of goals. Everyone walks away with a point. We can all go for a pint afterwards and just have a bit of a laugh, but I am a dreamer, and I'm not the only one. But I think I'm nervous. You're a very good side. You've been a team that's been together for a season. You're well disciplined. You score a lot of goals away, and I wish you the best of luck. But I just hope to God you don't win. But again,
I'll take a point on Saturday for sure.
We do appreciate it, but just kind of say that. We've had more Wrexham fans ringing the show tonight, which is an embarrassment to the Oldham fans. And it's quite, fair play to all the Wrexham fans coming on and saying hello. And
they don't want to talk to us. They say us every week, like they
always say, "What you should do on your podcast is this, and what you should do is that." But when you want to bloody ring in, they never show up. But
I think it's twofold. It's A, make sure you enjoy the novelty value while it lasts because it does wear thin after a while.
Yeah,
usually the second season it wears thin. So enjoy it for the ride it is. Yeah. And most Wrexham fans will acknowledge the fact that Oldham are a proper club. And I mean that with respect to the other teams in the division, but you know where I'm coming from.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the same with Wrexham. I mean, it's, you're in the National League and I know you've got a bounce with all this stuff with Hollywood and that, but at the end of the day, if you're getting average crowds of like 9,000 in the National League, then you're a proper club at the end of the day, aren't you?
You're aware following is massive as well. That's the other part.
I think that's the key, isn't it? You've got a good
away. I think Saturday, I'm not sure what record it will break, but it'll definitely be the biggest league following we've had. I don't know, in probably well over 15 years, I imagine. It'll be the biggest following we've had since playing Stoke in the FA Cup, and that was 2000 and Jesus, I can't remember when it was now, 18, something like that.
I mean, when we sing "You're Only Here for the Oldham at You," it will be true, won't it? Clearly,
You'll have to sing it loud. I'll tell you that.
I think we will. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hope we're trying to out-sing each other and it makes a right racket. It'll be brilliant.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Listen, we're going to knock it off. We only do an hour, but thanks for getting in touch, Tim.
Really appreciate it,
have
Tim.
a top weekend up at Boundary Park, mate.
All the best, boys. Take it easy.
Right, cheers, pal. Thanks a lot.
So what have we learned? Wrexham fans ringing more than Oldham fans
tonight. Yeah. Well, the Oldham fans that did, we were struggling with the some of the connections.
Wi-Fi in France isn't the best.
No, it's not the best.
But thanks for ringing.
It takes me a long time to learn things.
Yeah, that John Rooney is Wayne Rooney's brother, or Wayne Rooney's.
I have to do the wheel. We have to do the Wheel of Wonder thing before we get the wheel out.
Yeah, but hey,
it's life, isn't it?
It's life. It's the phoning. It's live. Thank you all, and thanks to Leesfield Developments for sponsoring the show and donating the prizes, and thanks for Oldham Athletic to donate 2 complimentary tickets for the home end on Saturday. If you want to be in the draw, please subscribe to the podcast on the boundaryparkalertsystem.com. And we will pick a winner tomorrow.
BoundaryParkAlertSystem.com. That doesn't even exist.
Sorry, www.
OAFCpodcast.co.uk.
Apologies. Yes. So we've learnt a lot today, haven't we?
We have learnt a lot, yeah.
But seriously, if you do want to get in the draw for the 2 tickets, then please don't delay.
I'm going to cut you off in a minute.
We'll see you.
I'm going to cut you off in a minute. I'm going to cut you off in a minute. The Latics Football Phone-In is hosted and produced weekly by Matt Dean and Dave Bradley for Q Pod Productions. Please follow and interact with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok at OAFC Podcast, and subscribe to youtube.com/The Boundary Park Alert System. The Latics Football Phone-In is released as a podcast every Friday morning at 7 a.m. and follows the Boundary Park Alert System podcast every Monday morning, also at 7 a.m. A huge thank you goes to those people who already subscribe and support the podcast. We appreciate you all, and if you'd like to help us out, please visit oafcpodcast.co.uk and click support or find the link in the podcast show notes. It's only $2.99 per month, and we'll draw a subscriber at random every month to win an Oldham Athletic shirt of your choice. A special mention must go to Lees Field Development for providing the prizes on the Wheel of Wonder. If you're interested in sponsoring the show, please get in touch. The title music for the show is by Manchester DJ and producer Starion, and for more information visit bandcamp.com/Red Laser Records. Thanks for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.